Hello, boys and girls. Today we begin with lesson 23. In lesson 23, we're going to read Whistle for Willie by Ezra Keats. So here we go. We're going to do our sight words first. We're going to read the words to know, like we did in school. So the first word that we're going to read is house. House is your first sight word. And it says, they learned how to build a house for birds. Do you know how to build a house for birds? That's pretty cool, right? That's a birdhouse. Okay, number 2, along. He rode carefully along the bike path. Don't forget, I want you to look at this video every day. This is the video that you're gonna look at every single day before you get into the workbook pages. Okay, our next sight word is together. The baby can clap her hands together now. Number 4, boy. The boy teaches his sister to read. Number 5, father. My father teaches me how to swim. Number 6, again. We went out on the ice again to practice. All right, here we go. We're moving on to number 7. Number 7 and 8. Nothing. And he says, at first, nothing fit, but he finished the puzzle. So it happened to me too. At first, nothing fit, and then everything fits into place. Began. Began is our last sight word. She began to take violin lessons. Isn't that cool? To play a musical instrument. All right, so we get to move on to our story now, boys and girls. But before we move into the story, we're going to preview our topic. And this week, we're going to be reading about pets. And it says, a pet can be a good friend. A cat can cuddle. A dog can play with a ball. What kinds of pets do you know about? That's a question, right? Have you ever had a pet? Pets need care. They need to be fed. Some need to be walked. You will read about a boy and his pet dog in Whistle for Willie. So how many of you know how to whistle? Well, I didn't know how to whistle until I became an adult. So maybe this week you'll learn how to whistle. Once again, we're in lesson 23, and we're going to read a little bit about the author. He is the author, and I believe he's also the illustrator. So the author, it's the person who writes the words in the story, and sometimes the author is also the person who draws the picture in the story for the book. So once again, his name is Ezra Keats, and it says Ezra Keats wrote and illustrated books for children. When Mr. Keats was a boy, he drew pictures on the kitchen table. His mother was so proud. She kept the art rather than wash the table. Okay, so if you ever happen to draw on your table, don't forget, tell mommy, don't clean it, because maybe one day I'll become a famous illustrator. All right, so once again, our story is Whistle for Willie. Whistle for Willie, here we go. Where is Willie? I don't see Willie. I think Willie's over here. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the page. Here we go. It says, oh, how Peter wished he could whistle. Look at that. Here's Peter over here. He doesn't look very happy, right? Because he probably can whistle. That's what it is. He can whistle. He saw a boy playing with his dog. Whenever the boy whistled, the dog ran straight to him. I want you to look at it. Look at that. Every time that the boy whistles, the dog runs to him. All right. Here we go. Now it says, Peter tried and tried to whistle, but he couldn't. So instead, he began to turn himself around. Around and around he whirled. Faster and faster. When he stopped, everything turned down and up. Oh my goodness, he's probably dizzy. So much turning around and around, right? You try to see what happens. You try home going around and around and around to see what happens, and you will feel the same way as little Peter. Here we go. It says, and up and down and around and around. So everything is going crazy just because it's very dizzy. All right, let's go out and turn the page. And here we go. And now it says, Peter saw his dog, Willie, coming quick as a wink. He hid in an empty carton lying on the sidewalk. Okay, so here we have a few clues, boys and girls. On the page before, we saw the street lights, and now we see they're telling us about a sidewalk. So I think that Peter is in the street, right? Peter is in the street, and here you can see the dog Willie, that he's coming, but Peter is hiding. Let's see, maybe Peter is gonna try to whistle. Wouldn't it be funny if I whistled? Peter thought. Willie would stop and look all around to see who it was. Peter tried again to whistle, but still he couldn't. So Willie just walked on. Oh, okay, so I understand now. Here we can see that Peter tried to whistle. Nothing came out. So since Willie couldn't see Peter because Peter was inside the box, guess what happened? He just walked on. I bet Peter felt sad. All right, here we go. It says, Peter got out of the carton and started home. On the way, he took some colored chalks out of his pocket and drew a long, long line right up to his door. Okay, let's see that line. Ooh, I can see the chalk line. I wonder if he got in trouble for doing that. Can you see the cat in the window? I bet the cat was also looking at Peter drawing on the sidewalk. Cat, don't tell on Peter, okay? Okay, here we go. Now it says, he stood there and tried to whistle again. He blew till his cheeks were tired, but nothing happened. Poor Peter. No whistle came out. All right, let's move on to our next page. He went into his house and put on his father's old hat to make himself feel more grown up. He looked into the mirror to practice whistling. Still no whistle. Look at him. So that's the way that you might want to try to whistle, right? You put your lips together like if you were going to kiss someone to see if it comes out. Okay, so here's mom. Here's Peter's mom. And he says, when his mother saw what he was doing, Peter pretended that he was his father. He said, I've come home early today, dear. Is Peter here? His mother answered, Why, no, he's outside with Willie. Well, I'll go out and look for them, said Peter. Don't forget, Peter is pretending to be his dad. Okay. First, he walked along a crack in the sidewalk. Then he tried to run away from his shadow. He jumped off his shadow, but when he landed, they were together again. Do you remember when we learned about shadow in the school? And that was our last science lesson. So we learned that when the sun is behind you, the shadow is in front of you. When the sun is in front of you, your shadow is behind you. But this time the shadow is right under Peter. That means that it's noon. At noon the sun is above you and your shadow is underneath you. All right, let's keep going. He came to the corner where the garden was, the box. And who should he see but Willie? Willie's his dog. That's his dog Willie right there. He's coming. So you can say that this is a corner, right? He's hiding behind the corner of the building. All right, but he hid inside the box now. I can see that. Now he says, Peter scrambled under the garden. He blew and blew. Suddenly, out came a real whistle. Willie stopped and looked around to see who it was. Who is it, Willie? Let's find out. Oh, Willie just saw him. It's Peter. It's me, Peter shouted and stood up. Willie raced straight to him. Oh, Willie's gonna run to him. Just like my crazy dog, right? Okay, look at it. Peter can whistle already. Okay, now he says, Peter ran home to show his father and mother what he could do. They loved Peter's whistling. So did Willie. I bet Willie's the happiest dog now because his owner can whistle for him. And his parents are very proud of him too, right? Yay. I bet you're going to try to whistle today. Well, you let me know, okay, next time I call you, if you could whistle or not. Okay. Look at them. I bet Willie's still whistling. Yes, he is. Okay. Peter's mother asked him and Willie to go on an errand. So errand is like when you have to go outside, like when you have to go out to get something, like when you have to go buy bread to the grocery store, and then you have to go to the post office, and then you have to go to the pharmacy. Those are errands. To the grocery store. So Peter's mother asked him and Willie to go on an errand to the grocery store. He whistled all the way there, and he whistled all the way home. He probably was whistling like this. Right? Okay. Well, that's it. That was the end of our story. But before we close, before we end this video, I wanna share a few poems with you. Oh, look at this cute doggy. And look at this one. Okay. Before we finish with the video, I also wanna share with you the pet poems. We're gonna take a look at poetry. So poetry, boys and girls, has a lot of rhyming. Rhyming is when the words end in the same sound. That makes the words rhyme, and poetry has a lot of rhyming. It says, this poem began as a folk song. Read it along with your class. Then sing it together. You want me to sing it to you? Okay, here we go. Bingo. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. O B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, you can sing it as many times as you want with me. You can pause the video and then unpause it, and you can sing it as many times as you want. Okay, now it says, can someone in your class read this poem in Spanish? Now read it again in English. So the good thing about this poem is that it's called Caballito Blanco, Re Blanco, and in English it's called Little White Horse. So I'm going to read it to you in Spanish and then in English as well. Caballito Blanco, Re Blanco, sácame de aquí, llévame hasta el puerto, donde yo nací. Here's the Caballito Blanco, the white horse. And then the poem in English, it says, Little White Horse. Little horse, white as snow, take me where I long to go. Take me to the port by the sea, where I was born and long to be. Can you find the words that rhyme? So we have them here. Look, we have, like, at least the ones that I can see are born, port. They rhyme because they end with the same sound. Or port, born. The same ending sound. That's why they rhyme. Most poems have rhyming words. We also have C and B. B and C. B and C. They rhyme. And we also have over here, where is it? Oh, right here. We have a snow and go. Snow and go. So these are the rhyming words. Snow, go, port, born, and then C and B. All right. So bye-bye, Caballito Blanco. I think we only have one more poem. It says, what kind of pet would you like to have? Would you like a furry pet or a pet with scales? Pet snake. Ooh, no trace of fuzz. No beat of fur. No growling bark or gentle purr. No cozy cuddle. No sloppy kiss. All he really does is hiss. And this poem was written by Rebecca Kai Dudlish. That's her name. Right? Wouldn't you like to have a pet snake? After all, there's no fuzz of fur. There's no growling bark or gentle purr. Just hiss, right? And you have to be careful. All right, boys and girls. So do not forget that I want you to play this video every single day before you get to do the workbook pages. All right? Because most of the workbook pages, you have to go back to the story and you have to reread the story. So every day before you get into the workbook pages, you look at this video and you read it, you listen to the story again. Well, big kiss and big hug, and see you soon. Bye.